Okay, we're ready for the next step now. We've got our mirroring software is running here on this PC and on the reader as well. Again, back button, home button, and apps button. The only app running right now, well, there's a bunch of things here, so I'm going to close those settings things, and I'm only dealing with this. I can go to the home button and see I have my Zebra app, my settings thing. If I swipe to the right, you'll see all of these, and I want to go to the Play Store now, and I'm going to type in AssetWorks. Right? Gosh. It is not allowing me to hit enter. Why is that? There we go. All right, there we go. And it's from InfinID, so go ahead and hit install. And we might as well go ahead and open it and configure it right away. So just hit open. And it's going to go through this process. I want to do this first just to make sure you recognize you can do it immediately after you download it. Hit get started. Make sure that we're going to batch mode because we're going to be using these mobile readers, storing the data on them, and then syncing later on with a local server. I don't really like doing it on app startup. I'd rather do it manually. It's your choice, but I prefer manual. And then in the server address, we're going to go and put in the address to the web server, which I've got it installed on this laptop, so it's just the IP address of this laptop, which I have previously identified as being this by using an IP config command in a command window. Okay, so 172, let me just copy that. Whoops, sorry. Paste it there, hit save. It'll go out and try to check a connection to that server, and if it comes back, it'll, with a successful connection, it'll start asking you these things. I don't really like having Chrome snooping on me here, so I'm going to say no thanks to all of those. You might have user names set up, but the default one here is admin and demo. Oops, sorry. And then come down to demo and log in. Scanner type. You only have one option, but you still have to pick it. Hit save. And now you are in the program. This is really all you need to do at this point. I would say you can hit more, go down to app settings, scroll all the way down, change this from on handheld to on server, and it will sync much, much, much faster. For power level, you can set it to 100% power when you're doing inventories. You can turn it down if you're getting too many tags from another room, whatever you prefer there. But I do have to hit save because I changed something there, right? And now I'm going to sync the app. Do you want to sync with the master database? And I'll say yes. And it goes pretty quick because we're doing this. Most of the data is manipulation has been happening on the server. Okay, so now we actually have we have locations and we have assets that actually make some sense. I do have some locations I think I can test here. So if I type in SP1-13-V and I do a search on that, yep, it does indeed come back, showing me all this, that's a real live location. I'll go into assets now. You could scan an asset. I'm gonna just type it in, but I've got an asset of this. I just happen to know it. You cannot, there's no wildcard that I've been able to figure out here, so if you try to do a wildcard thing, it won't come up with any options. But this kind of shows that yes, indeed, it did connect to the database. I've got my assets in there, and my connection and syncing happened the way it should. Okay? Now, what else more do we need to do? Well, we need to be able to actually scan stuff. And Unfortunately, with this mirroring software, I can't do that without the app crashing. You cannot read with the RFID reader while the reader is in the dock. That's a Zebra thing. Don't know why they did it, but at least Zebra gives us an option for getting around that. So on the reader face itself, it's going to come up with a prompt here. I don't think it's going to show, but I'll give it a try, see if I can show what I'm doing at the same time. There is a command. If you install ADB as a program on your PC, go to that install folder location, platform tools, then type in ADB space shell space dump sys space battery space unplug. Hit enter. And now it should work to the point where I can scan without this app crashing. So you can always test your reader by hitting the more and read tags and then pull the trigger and see what happens. And I didn't have anything happen here, so it makes me think that something didn't work properly. Another way we can test this is close AssetWorks. Don't need that as well. Now let's try this menu. In fact, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this AssetWorks now and put them down here. Yep. All right, here's our homepage. And let me try this one and see if I can get this app to work. There you go. Alrighty. So that one works, and it didn't crash the program, so I'm all good there. I think what I needed to do is restart the AssetWorks program after I ran an ADB command. So I'm going to close this app. Close that app. My screen pushing to the right. The mobile, the mirroring software isn't showing the X all the time. All right, so we'll go back here. Start AssetWorks. You cannot have the Zebra program and AssetWorks working at the same time. They do not share the RFID reader. Let's go to more, hit read tags, and let's test it again. Pull the trigger, and I've got nothing. Because I'm not in RFID mode, maybe. Let's see. There you go. So I am getting reads. The reader works in AssetWorks. Everything, we've found locations, we found assets, we've been able to sync. Your next step will be to actually go into a room and scan a room door jamb barcode, and then continue with RFID reading the tags that are in there. That's a separate video. This is just on setup, but it looks like we are actually ready to go. So that takes care of the setup part of this. And I'm going to pause, and then we'll continue with just a last step on how to do final steps before you pack it up for a customer. Okay, so now we've got our AssetWorks installed, it's been synced, it's connected to at least my local network here. When you get it to the customer site, you're going to have to go in and change the IP address for that server connection here, but it's just opening the app, going to more, read tags, and software connectivity, and you'll change the IP address here to whatever the web service address is at the customer site. So we're good. We have all of our apps. I just want to close everything, and gosh, I shouldn't have closed the mirroring software maybe, but it still seems to be working. So I'm going to swipe down from the top. These are final steps for getting it ready to looks like we've got a step here. Let's just, so that this doesn't get become annoying for the end customer, let's follow through with this and just be done. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to try to do for me here. In the end, I want to remove my Google account, and I want to remove my Wi-Fi password and log in. And then we're ready to box it up for the end customer. We'll see what this ends up doing here. Okay, I'm not really sure what happened there, but I ended up rebooting my mirroring software, and we'll just do this once again. Drag from the top, and there's a couple things here. Now this is interesting, this thing, RFID reader set region, we did. So I guess maybe we should have done that as a notification response as opposed to just opening up the app, but we actually have this set now, right? If you go to settings and regulatory, you will see it's US. So we don't need to do anything else there. I will get rid of that. We'll go back up to the top menu, drag down, that's gone. And then this setup, let's finish this setup so it doesn't annoy customers. Not sure what it was doing the first time, but hopefully it'll go through faster this time. I will pause though. Okay, I'm not sure what happened. I ended up just restarting the reader, which is, you know, holding the red button in the bottom right corner until you see restart, shut down. I hit restart and went through this notification start process again, and this time it actually went straight through. And I don't know why it's doing this again, but it's we just follow through with this just to so the customer doesn't have an annoying nag there. We're going to say not now, skip anyway. It's all the things that we did before, and apparently we have to do them again, which is annoying, but better that it's annoying for us than for a customer. So now that we're done there, we shouldn't have that. Set up your phone with Google. I think I'm just going to say no thanks, and we'll just let it go, right? So the rest of this is, you know, it is what it is. Now, if you do want to actually drag files to and from the device for whatever reason, you can just click this one and then change this to file transfer. It kills my my connection, but that's pretty much the. I would do this maybe for apps other than AssetWorks, where you're actually dragging files back and forth. System is back up now, so I will back here, and we'll just do the last steps now, which is shutting off certain connections. So the first thing we're going to do, oops, sorry, go back to here, hit settings, and we're going to remove the Google account. So click that, hit remove account, and then we're going to shut off the Wi-Fi, or we can leave the Wi-Fi on, but let's just make sure that we eliminate the password for ID integration. So to make sure Ethernet is actually on, otherwise when they put the cable adapter in it won't work. So here we're going to go over here to settings and we'll say forget. Still leave Wi-Fi on, so when the customer does turn it on, it'll search for stuff. But we want to remove our password references there. So at this point, I believe we are all good. We can just close that as well. Ready to box it up and send it to the customer.